I've been seeing a lot of comments of people that want to run a life staff and something else because they think they're going to contribute, but they also want to preserve autonomy for solo content or live out some kind of power fantasy. So the question is, can we do it? A lot of questions about how to do it or if it's viable, and technically there's game systems that kind of make it possible because there's gems that can change your scaling into focus or intelligence, but you do get reduced effectiveness. But is it too much of a reduction to be viable? Let's find out. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like, share with friends, comment your thoughts down below, and check out my New World playlist. Now we're going to get to gameplay, but the first thing I did was I threw an Amber into my artifact Greatsword with like 350 focus, and my base damage went up by like 300. So we need to put in some work to optimize what's going on, because initially it seems trash. So I'm going to like show off the peak, what we can actually accomplish here. What happens if we go 350 focus? Well, I don't really like this Heart Rune ability reduction, and like how much damage does it give us? Pretty much nothing, because like look at that, 1029, 1060, and even our life staff is barely getting anything, so we don't need to go past 300. Now there is a little bit of a saving grace, that dexterity still scales because the gem replaces the primary scaling, so if there's a secondary scaling on the weapon, that's what you can go all into. So we do have dexterity focus, and then like depending on the other numbers and weirdness, like we could find the 19 for the intelligence, just not in this case, and intelligence does absolutely nothing. So like yeah, if we want damage, rest goes into dexterity, except we do want 10% heavy attack damage. We gotta find damage everywhere we can get it. Then we have like this blessed for the outgoing healing, 20% fortify is like kinda, I guess. Do we need this? 10% power after successfully dodging, damage light heavy elemental attacks. I mean, that's too much investment to get like 10% of the 50%. And then constitution, well, hopefully if we're actually like healer class and we're still trying to do damage, we don't have to worry about constitution. So yeah, we have that. And I mean, it's just so unfortunate how you are forced into the life staff if you want to like queue for a healer. You can't go like 300, even 350 focus flail with a void gauntlet. You are forced into having a life staff. It just kind of like shows why the scaling is so bad, why the returns are so different, since if you want to do intelligence scaling, they at least give you 75%. So life staff is mostly like if you want to get easy expeditions but have no fun and get carried and just keep out your life staff. I don't even know like what the point of the secondary is, to be honest, where it's like, well, if the entire team wipes, it's not like you're gonna solo pull out something else with your focus and get shit done. Doesn't happen. You're supposed to get refreshing move, savior or blessed, definitely keen beacon or fortifying sacred ground, and you're supposed to have like perfect cooldown management and uptime to where there's no reason to switch off the life staff because you should only always be healing. As for group content, most of it goes into expeditions. Now if you're playing with friends or a guild, then yeah, you can do this. If you can try, like if your friends trust you, where it's like, no, don't worry, we're actually good, and we're not going to go like light equip load into a mutation and expect you to keep us alive. But the question is the damage salvageable? We're doing, oh, what? Well, okay, that crit's kind of spicy, and then we also have the ramp up from Serenity. So I mean, we can still do 4,000 on a heavy attack, and then almost 6,000 on a crit. Whereas other crits do like 8 to 9k, and then like we can do things. But then like the question is like, okay, so what's the benefit that we're trying to get out of the life staff? I'm about to say like, is there a way we can also make Serenity work where if we swap out? But no, they really make sure there's not enough time. Unless you were like super duper dialed in and you really get everything done in those 6 seconds to get back on the Serenity and get a heavy attack to kind of keep the uptime, yeah. Then you get a couple seconds of crit and a little bit of extra damage. Alright, so for this first pull, I'm not going to use the life staff. I just want to see it's like, yep, we're running this great sword, low constitution, and we don't even have Blood Drinker to bail us out. Because like that's kind of it. I'm kind of testing for in-game scenario. Is this worth dedicating your entire New World journey? Or should you just try something else? Where it's like, well, see, the problem is that... Oh, wow, we got, yep. Alright, so we gotta, like, stab in slice out, and then just like, hopefully, yeah, see it, like, wow. It is just not working out for us here, which again makes sense. Calamity counter. Oh, no, we have no stamina, especially after dodge. Somehow staying alive, just barely. Really need that blood drinker. Okay, what if we put down something? Like we heal, we splash for our own healing. This is on all that focus. I mean, like it keeps us alive. Oh, it's ugly. It's ugly. Yeah, don't do this, especially as a solo player. There is zero reason to run Life Staff with a two-handed weapon, or Rapier, or Hatchet, or Sword and Shield, and if you are running Intelligence, you're just better off like the Void Blade. If you're running Strength, you're better off with the Flail, and the Flail can actually give you Sustain. You just get Mending Vortex, and you're going to be fine. I've leveled up a lot of weapons, and tested a lot of combos, and made a lot of guides, and this is the worst build I have played so far. There is nothing redeeming about it compared to any other build I've made. Solo Fire Staff can handle these pools. And I have a Greatsword with a Life Staff, and I can't do anything in these situations. It's weird. It's hard to describe. It's like I'm more frail, even though I have roughly the similar stats and even better stats than some of the other builds I've done. I've gone full luck. I sacrificed a ton of durability for a non-combat stat, and I was still doing better with that build and other weapon combos, and there's just a lot of like really cool and fun stuff to do with other classes. Yeah, like solo dedicated Life Staff, so maybe you can like find groups for expeditions, or maybe become notorious enough to get like picked up by a guild. Do that. But if you're trying to go for something like damage and healing and autonomy, you find that inside of the builds anyways, because Great Axe will have healing, Hammer can have healing, there's also mending effects, life-stealing rings, and once you just scale the single-player campaign into a blood drinker, you don't have to worry about anything. Also, getting perfect or even near perfect in-game gear is really expensive, and there's really no justification for kind of investing into any of this. There's no end-game payoff because I'm doing some pretty high-level gear and high-level stuff right here, and it's just worse than worse gear and worse setups that you can build into a lot easier. So it's not even like, oh, this is secretly the top of the top tier end game if you go all in on it. No, it's just crap in all situations. I don't know how else to say it, but also I'm going to chill and say check out my playlist and my other guides, because then you can like look at what other builds do, even other builds I've tried out with the Life Staff that are just more successful. Or maybe you find some kind of other weapon combo that I didn't think I'd ever like the Void Gauntlet, and that the Void Blade was going to be clunky or something. I'm like, oh no, I messed up by not investing into the Void Blade builds earlier, because this just shreds things as though I'm a Great Axe or a Great Sword. And the Hammer is way more fun than I thought, when I thought it was just like stupid, you know, just like average, low skill ceiling, low return, but you still do all right with the Hammer. No, Hammer's actually like really, really good, and I didn't know that until I really invested into it for making guides and stuff. So check those out. Hope this video helps. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.